rental, it doesn't sound like it was, terribly out of line at all. But I do want to just verify that real quick and make sure.
Okay.
Don't really have a problem with it.
Now, Brenda, that the mechanical shop where it's at, they operate on a completely different time frame than body shops.
Sure.
There's only 2 games in town. They're the only 2 places, and couldn't even take it. They do things at their own speed, and we can't control that. And when there's something out of our control, we can't be expected to pay for a rental for something that's out of our control.
Well, here's another thing, too, is that, we owe for a reasonable amount of repairs. So if they're taking other jobs in between and whatnot, that's really irrelevant.
What's reasonable is the amount of time that this independent company takes to get it done. And
Not
you can push them. So you're saying that if it takes 2 weeks and you think it should only take a week, you're only going to pay for a week?
Correct.
If there's only 1 game in town or 2 games in town, and those 2 games decide that it's going to take 2 weeks, but you look at the hours and you say, well, by the hours it should only take a week, and therefore that's reasonable.
Correct.
If the physical amount of time for these 2 games in town is 2 weeks, that's what's reasonable. The market decides what's reasonable, not what the hours are on the repair.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I understand your point.
We just cannot sit here and get stuck with a $5,000 bill because you're looking at, it's 8 hours of mechanical, therefore it's 2 days of rental.
I think what I would prefer to do is I'd like to have some kind of documentation to support, the tow truck and exactly how much that tow truck brings in terms of revenue every day, log reports, and that type of thing for the past 3 months.
Well, it's being used every day. That's what
we
can
support.
May be,
but you have to provide me some kind of documentation to support
that it's being used.
That how much income that vehicle produces per day.
Wait. What does that have to do with being used?
It's loss of use.
Loss of use is the vehicle itself. Okay, we use the vehicle to tow vehicles.
Okay.
We're asking for a replacement vehicle to tow vehicles.
But I don't necessarily owe you for that. I owe you for loss of use or a rental.
Loss of use, which is the vehicle.
Or a rental.
Well, I'm not losing any income because I'm using another vehicle.
Okay,
you're saying that loss of use is income?
Well, it's a commercial vehicle, correct?
But
it's a commercial risk.
But it's used to transport vehicles around. It's not used to haul concrete or something else.
How many tow trucks do you have on your lot?
I have 3 tow trucks on the lot, and I have 3 drivers.
I need to have log reports of all 3 vehicles that they're in use.
Okay.
And I want 3 months backdated from today.
Okay. Well,
to show how much they were in use. If you have another vehicle available to you and you're using all 3 at any given point in time, then I can consider that. If you're not and you have vehicles that are not in use, then I don't owe you.
Well, how many hours a day would a vehicle have to be in use to show that it was in use? You're saying 24 hours a day? Or I just need to know that
because
you have
regular business hours.
Brenda, there might be 2 tow trucks that are being used for 6 hours a day and 1 for 12.
Sure.
And then on a Wednesday, all 3 might be used for 12 hours. And then on a Friday, all 3 might be used for 2.
Fine,
you realize this is Friday. It's been a week now.
I do realize.
And we've asked you that from last Friday to provide you if you have any objections. We sent that to you certified and faxed if you had any objections. And now only when I call you a week later do you start coming up with the idea that you aren't going to pay for this. Although early in the conversation you said you had no problem. Okay. So you have. So I'm just letting you know now that a week has gone by at $500 a day, and now you're sitting here and starting to backtrack about what you owe on this.
Yeah.
Okay. We just want to let you know, too, we're going to start parallel proceedings against the owner, or the one that hit us, because apparently you're starting to renege on what you're owed, and we just don't want to get pulled in the bag here.
I've never reneged on anything.
No, but you're sitting here saying...
I've asked you to provide documentation, and you can't.
Of course I can.
Your refusal to.
I haven't refused anything.
You absolutely have. Okay, well then provide it.
Brenda, what if I refused? I will provide you logs showing